All right, so it is Saturday today. The wife is going to an event. It's pretty much a girls' party. As I said, I haven't completely quit being a doctor. I'm still an active doctor, just not in training. So today I'll be firstly heading off to the gym. It is chest day, and then I need to shoot off to work. So being an active doctor is super useful when I've got a product that's essentially in the health and life sciences, right? Our users are doctors, nurses, allied healthcare professionals, people in the health tech industry, people who are using tech in the sphere, people who are dealing with data in health, pharma companies, and so on and so forth. And also understanding the pain points, right? Doctors are consuming content, and there's two ways to reach them. Either I email them, use LinkedIn messaging, get them onto a Zoom call, or I network and I go to where they're sitting. So it's a great way to speak to users, understand their pains, understand their issues consuming content, networking, building their careers. And speaking to patients as well, you get an idea of the pains out there too. So it's a great way for me to just enjoy myself. I love serving patients. I love being an emergency medicine doctor. I love building the startup. I love all of this, and it simply helps have a finger on the pulse. So it's super advantageous to the startup as well. So let's go. All right, so all changed and ready to go now. One of the concepts that I want to talk about on this vlog is about Simon Sinek's concept of what is your why. And often the why isn't actually one singular thing, it's plural. It says there's loads of things going on. Your familial goals, your financial goals, your impact on the world, what resonates deep inside here. So medicine, healthcare, it's all very much inside here. But we'll talk a lot more on this vlog, or if I don't get time, then on another episode or another part of this vlog at least. But I need to eat and I need to shoot off right now. Catch you in a bit. So let's talk a little bit about speaking to users. I have not gotten to the Y Combinator batch or any of the batches in fact to date. But one thing I did was they've got a massive startup library of just educational materials, right? One thing I did was I pretty much religiously studied those videos. Not only did I do those videos once, I probably did those videos twice, maybe even thrice. And one of the things they talk about is talking to users, watching them use your product, asking them genuinely, what pain point does it solve? Do they like it? Why would they use it again? Why would they not use it? And if they delete their account, asking them, why did you delete your account? So it's super important to find your users, be it through cold email, LinkedIn messaging, doing what I also do, which is basically I network with lots of doctors, lots of locums in an A&E department usually. So you get to meet fresh faces all the time, ask them questions like, how do you consume content? How are you continuing your learning, your appraisal, your CPD, all of those key buzzwords, especially when you're building a network specifically for this demographic. It's really important to understand them. So yeah, you need to speak to users. You must speak to users because one example is this, right? I basically watched one of the doctors sign up to the platform, and I just observed them. I didn't say anything. And you can see how they click, and you've put a button in a particular location. They're like, how do I post this particular article? How do I change my username, my settings, this, that, and the other? And you understand, like, okay, it's your product that's flawed. Your UX and UI hasn't been optimized. So users are finding a little bit more friction in using your product. So yeah, speaking to users, watching them, and often the best users will be the guys who are not your friends. Your friends will always back it. They will always say, yeah man, such a cool, wicked product, but they'll never use it. Like some of my best friends have not registered on the product, have not used they're HCPs, but I use them for a different purpose. I will sit them and I'll ask them, how did they do their thing? How did they consume content? Show me how other companies have reached out to you and you've engaged with them. So you get real good insight. One of the things as a founder, right, is you have to be willing to constantly speak about your startup non-stop with positive energy. You can't get tired of hearing your own voice because the person on the other end is hearing it for the first time. So you have to deliver the story, you have to deliver the reason, the mission with as much energy as you did when you spoke to the first ever person. So I guess that's a little bit on speaking to users. Super important. Make sure you're doing it. And no user or no potential user is ever going to steal your idea, man. Just speak about it. We've had people try, and there's too much sacrifice involved. And if you want to come up against someone who's sacrificed their career and sacrificed a lot of money, then yeah, we're all game. I'm all game for that type of competition because I'm all in. So I don't fear competition one bit, to be honest. Unless you've raised, let's say, 100 million, it's Sequoia, and you're on YC or something like that, then I'm probably toast. But otherwise, I'm game. Let's go. All right, shift's over. Didn't get much time to do any more recording. I had my break. I was just chilling. So yeah, I still need to talk about Simon Sinek's concept of why, and I think I'll just do this from home or something on the go. So I want to close off this vlog now, explaining Simon Sinek's why and my own personal why. So Simon Sinek talks about essentially having a very strong why. It keeps you on the mission itself, and whenever things go wrong, because the why is so strong, you often can bounce back very well. And on top of that, he talks about how people are invested into someone's why, not just the what, right? So when I talk about Peerr's great mission that we have, it's to essentially advance human health through the build of a network that's focused on content and value sharing. So now to go to my why, right? We've had loads and loads of like doing stuff, not working, failure, rejection, and so on and so forth. But we've kept going and it's brought us to this point now. So what are my own personal whys? So let's start with number one, the impact that I wish to have. So I've always wanted to become a doctor whilst young, and then I became a doctor and something changed because I had a taste of entrepreneurship early on in university, and it was that I wanted to have impact at scale. I wanted to contribute to the advancement of human health at the level of millions. I didn't want to just help one person, not tens of people, not thousands of people, not hundreds of thousands of people, but millions of people. I wanted to create a dimensional shift, you see, in health. And entrepreneurship is an avenue to do that, and startups is my avenue to do that. And my personal belief, through all the insight, knowledge, and experience that I have, is that if I can bring together the whole of the health and life sciences industry, right? We're not talking just about healthcare professionals. We're not talking just about doctors and nurses. We're talking about health tech companies. We're talking about pharma companies, life sciences companies, biotech companies. If we can connect them all together, get them to share content, expertise, insights, collaborate, work on things together, I think we can execute on that mission on the advancement of human health. That's the impact that I want to have. On top of that, I think there's a whole massive gap where knowledge, expertise, it's being locked up, it's been siloed, and I think as long as we can get the incentive system right, we can get that knowledge shared a lot better across the world. So that's the impact element of my why. So then you have another component to my why, which is the desire to constantly be learning, growing, and doing things unthinkable. When I was young, when I was growing up, going to a state school and stuff, people said to me, becoming a doctor would be impossible. And I did it, alhamdulillah. And what I believe is that if I can keep my intentions and everything aligned on the mission, and I genuinely am sincere in my mission, I think I can genuinely do the impossible. The third element to my why is I want to be on an untrodden path. Whilst becoming a doctor and everything, it seemed like I could see the road ahead of me and it looked like the road behind me, right? There was nothing that was going to change. So for me, it was, you know what? I want a different type of life. I want a life where it's unknown. It's unknown and I've got to figure it out, and there's no playbook, but I gotta keep trying and I have to find a way. It's fun, it's exciting, it helps me learn, develop in so many different ways, and it's something that I weirdly want to do. I can't even explain why, but the untrodden path, it looks like the path I want to go down. A fourth element to my why is I want to show everyone around me, I want to show the generations around me and my kids in particular, right, that we can do anything and that we should aspire to be the best, we should contribute to the world, and we should lead through example, right? And I want to lead through actions and not just words. So it's also showing my children and people around me that look, no matter what resources we have, we can do it. Oh, this is getting really deep now, but it's my why, and you can see now the why is coming really out now. And I think the last 2 points that I have, right, is that so I want freedom and control over myself. I want freedom and control over bringing ideas to life from here, and I want to exercise not just my medical and clinical knowledge, but my creativity, my entrepreneurship spirit, and I want to be inventive. I want to be inventive and bring things to life that have never been seen before, and Peerr is a way to do that. And finally, the power of community. Imagine building something that is bigger than yourself. Imagine where a community or communities are born. Imagine a place where people are able to build careers on top of, are able to also build livelihoods on top of. Imagine people being able to affect healthcare through your product. And that's what I envision Peerr to do. Something bigger than me, something that will leave a legacy, something that will impact the world, as I said, as my first point on this topic. So there we have it. To wrap off this vlog now, right, I've gone through Simon Sinek's why, I've talked about talking to users a lot, and I've talked about my own personal why. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next vlog.